Thanks for joining us. I'm Paula Eben with a WBZ News update. Our top stories: Salisbury is asking the state for more help in replacing the sand that it lost in this winter's storms. The town is now asking for nearly $2 million to repair erosion. The 4-mile stretch of Salisbury Beach is owned by the state, but homeowners say they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of their own money to restore it by creating sand dunes. The beach is supposed to open to the public in just over a month. The Episcopal Diocese of Massachusetts has elected its first ever female bishop. The Reverend Julia E. Whitworth will be the 17th bishop of the state's diocese. The diocese is made up of 180 parishes across Massachusetts. According to the website for the diocese, Whitworth will take over from Bishop Alan M. Gates, who plans to resign and retire later this year. 22 purebred and designer dogs are available for adoption. The MSPCA says the dogs were rescued from a commercial breeder in Missouri. They were brought to Massachusetts over the weekend. Officials say they were living in puppy mills and were often overbred and not receiving proper care. The breed includes Cocker Spaniels, Papillons, and Havanese. Their ages range from 1 to 10 years old, and they'll be available to take home in 2 days after a state-mandated 48-hour quarantine and medical attention. Let's get a check of the forecast now with meteorologist Jason Michael.
Well, here we go, Paula. Into the afternoon we go, where some of the 60s and 70s are quickly going to roll over back into the 50s once we get past sunset time for this evening. We're roughly going to be about 8:01, 8:02 for the sunset time this evening. As far as daytime high temperatures, you can imagine the easterly wind is going to keep the shoreline communities a little bit cooler today, where we'll struggle to get to about 60 degrees. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, not only are the allergens going up, oak, birch, and even ash still likely being the top 3 in terms of our allergens, but also the temperatures are going to be climbing. Feels like temperatures once we get to tomorrow afternoon between, let's say, 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., it will likely feel like 90 degrees. Into Wednesday, likely feel like the mid-90s. But this weekend, though, is definitely going to be much more pleasant and also comfy Saturday and Sunday, but also a chance of rain is going to be moving back in from Monday on Memorial Day. Let's talk about the jet stream. Okay, that is the upper level pattern driving a lot of our sort of extratropical systems here, mainly just our low pressure systems. That's a fancy word for describing that. Warm air, frankly, coming from the deep south is going to be racing up the I-95 corridor through the Carolinas into the Delmarva Valley and also through Philly, New York City, and eventually landing in Boston. And it stays that way until we get to about Saturday and Sunday. And certainly by Monday, things are going to be cooling off a little bit. But the summer-like feels are here, and they're likely going to be here even more once we get into late May and even early June. What we're dealing with right now, you remember this past weekend we had that coastal storm that allowed for a lot of the rain showers, cloudy skies, some foggy conditions, and even some isolated drizzle. Yeah, we're still dealing with the performance of that, with more clouds developing late into the evening and certainly by the overnight. There comes our cold front sparking off some isolated showers, perhaps even a couple thunderstorms throughout the Merrimack Valley into Tuesday afternoon. But notice that south wind really starts to cook in here. Even by Wednesday at noon, we could be talking about feels like temperatures around 90 degrees. Into the afternoon, we could be talking about feels like temperatures in the mid-90s. As far as tomorrow goes, we're beginning in the mid to upper 50s. High noon, we're already in the mid-70s here with a hit and miss shower activity. Even by the time we get to about 5 p.m. later on tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours, still going to be hanging out in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Wednesday, hot and breezy. Oh my goodness, the summer-like feels are here. A good beach day if you ask me. Thursday will be kind of cutting things back into the mid-80s or so. But again, the feels like temperatures are going to be racing on in here. You can see climbing into the mid to low 80s, even around 11:30 tomorrow morning. Here's that next 7. You can see our temperatures again, 80s tomorrow. Feels like summer on Wednesday, around 90 degrees. There is also the likelihood of a few isolated thunderstorms passing on Thursday evening. That's our cold front, friends. That'll clear us out, dry us out, and also likely bring the allergens down once we get to Friday. However, on Saturday and Sunday, though we'll be a little bit cooler and much more comfy in terms of temperatures, the allergens will also be roaring back. But again, it's going to be a great Memorial Day weekend, sun and clouds, and oh so comfy. Paula?
Thanks, Jason. I'm Paula Eben. This has been a WBZ News Update.